Shalom and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News, broadcasting to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, Israeli police forces arrested over the weekend a Palestinian suspect who, according to the Shin Bet Security Agency, brutally murdered last week an Israeli woman in a forest on the outskirts of Jerusalem. A delegation of senior Hamas officials arrived in the Russian capital last night for a scheduled meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin, which, according to the internationally recognized terror group, aims to discuss Palestinian reconciliation and challenges facing Palestinian aspirations. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is scheduled to travel to the Polish capital of Warsaw later this week, where a US-sponsored ministerial summit will discuss Mideast challenges, including the dangers posed to the regional stability by the Islamic Republic of Iran. Israeli police forces arrested over the weekend a Palestinian suspect who, according to the Shin Bet Security Agency, brutally murdered an Israeli woman in a forest on the outskirts of Jerusalem. 19-year-old Ori Ansbacher, a resident of the West Bank settlement of Tkoa, was found naked and with multiple stab wounds in Jerusalem's En Yael forest on Thursday. Police forces immediately launched an investigation into the brutal murder, and less than 48 hours after the Israeli victim was found, the Special Yamam police force located and arrested Arafat Irfia, a 29-year-old resident of the West Bank town of Hebron. Following a brief interrogation of the suspect, Irfia, who was identified as a member of the Islamist Hamas organization, confessed to killing Ori Ansbacher and reconstructed the murder. Shortly thereafter, the Israeli Shin Bet Security Agency classified the deadly incident as an act of terrorism. Meanwhile, dozens of Israelis gathered in Jerusalem's Zion Square to protest the brutal murder of Ori Ansbacher. Mourners sang songs and lit candles in memory of the 19-year-old victim.
באנו לפה להביע את הכאב הכי גדול שאנחנו יכולים לאורי שלנו, שהאור שלה כבר לא ידלק יותר, שהיא הלכה ונרצחה מוות מזעזע.
Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu also referred to the brutal act of terror, vowing to settle accounts with all those who seek to harm Israel. During his weekly cabinet meeting, Netanyahu commended the security forces for locating and apprehending the murderer and voiced the country's heartfelt condolences to the Ansbacher family in their terrible grief.
אני מבקש לשבח את כוחות הביטחון. הם פעלו במהירות מופתית, תוך שעות ספורות הם איתרו ולכדו את הרוצח. במוקדם ובמאוחר, במקרה זה במוקדם, ידה ארוכה של ישראל מגיעה לכל מי שפוגע בנו, ואנחנו באים עמם חשבון. בשמי, בשם חברי הממשלה, בשם עם ישראל כולו, אני מבקש להביע את תנחומינו הכנים שיוצאים מעומק הלב למשפחת אנסבכר ביגונם הכבד.
In addition to stepping up Israel's preventative measures in Jerusalem's ongoing battle against terrorism, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu promised during his cabinet meeting to implement a new law that will deduct terrorist salaries from taxes that Israel collects on behalf of the Palestinian Authority.
עד סוף השבוע תושלם הפרטת המטה שדרושה למימוש חוק קיזוז משכורות מחבלים. ביום ראשון הבא אני אכנס את הקבינט, אנחנו נעביר את ההחלטה הדרושה לקיזוז הכספים. הכספים יקוזזו שאיש לא יטיל בכך ספק.
Under the new law, which was passed in July 2018, money that would otherwise go to pay salaries to roughly 35,000 families of Palestinian terrorists will automatically be frozen in accordance with the Paris Protocol of 1994, without the need for special approval by the Israeli cabinet. According to the law's sponsors, the Palestinian Authority paid Palestinians who committed acts of terror over 4 billion shekels, which is equal to almost 970 million euros over the past 4 years from its so-called Martyrs Fund. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced his planned trip to the Polish capital of Warsaw, where a US-sponsored ministerial summit will take place later this week.
השבוע אני אצא לוועידת השלום והביטחון שמתקיימת בוורשה. אני אפגש שם עם סגן נשיא ארצות הברית מייק פנס, עם מזכיר המדינה האמריקני מייק פומפאו, עם מנהיגים נוספים. הנושא הראשון שעומד על הפרק הוא איראן. כיצד להמשיך למנוע את הניסיונות שלה להתבסס בסוריה, כיצד למנוע את התוקפנות שלה באזור, וכיצד, מעל הכל, למנוע מאיראן להשיג נשק גרעיני.
Representatives from nearly 80 countries, including from Arab states, have been invited to attend. The two-day summit will begin in the Polish capital on Wednesday, while separately on Thursday, Russian President Vladimir Putin will hold his own summit in the resort city of Sochi with the leaders of Iran and Turkey to discuss the situation in Syria. Meanwhile, in Moscow, a delegation of senior Hamas officials arrived in the Russian capital last night for a visit that, according to the internationally recognized terror group, aims to discuss Palestinian reconciliation and challenges facing Palestinian aspirations. Since Hamas is not listed as a terrorist organization by the Kremlin, due to the fact that it won the national Palestinian election in 2006, Moscow has tried to leverage its unique position to promote itself as the only viable broker for Israeli-Palestinian peacemaking. Nevertheless, while Israeli officials repeatedly welcome any international suggestions to bring about a viable solution to the decades-old conflict, the Islamist Hamas has rejected any change in its view towards Israel and continues to openly declare its aspiration to annihilate the Jewish state. Now to Iraq, where Prime Minister Adel Abdul Mahdi has once again condemned President Donald Trump for recent comments he made on maintaining an American military presence in Iraq so that Washington can keep a close eye on Iran. Trump's comments have been met with strong opposition from officials in Baghdad, whom are deeply divided on many issues pertaining to the US-Iran rivalry. That said, openly declaring the use of Iraqi soil for battling the malign activities of the Islamic Republic has put Iraqi officials that are leaning westwards in a tough position.
لذلك عندما يذكر بأن مهمة هذه القوات لمحاربة دولة مجاورة كإيران مثلا، نحن نرفض هذا المفهوم. أصلا الدستور يمنع علينا أن نسير بهذه التوجهات. لا نقبل أن يكون العراق أرض معركة من أي طرف ضد أي طرف آخر.
While the comments by President Trump have topped Iraq's topics of discussion on foreign intervention, the main source of strain between Washington and Baghdad pertains to the Trump administration's demand that all countries, including Iraq, fully comply to international sanctions that were imposed on Iran. This demand has challenged Iraq in particular due to the fact that the Islamic Republic is the sole foreign supplier for Baghdad's growing energy demand. Furthermore, Iraqi leaders fear that the further shortfall in power would lead to mass protests and political instability in their electricity-starved country. Thank you for joining us. You can also watch us at TV7IsraelNews.com or TV7.fi. For any updates from Israel and its region, visit our Facebook page or YouTube channel at TV7 Israel News. For any comments, please send your emails to israelnews@tv7.fi. Keep praying for the peace of Israel and the peace of Jerusalem. I'm Yair Pinto. Have a good evening, and we will see you again tomorrow at the same time.